you go to college and you study for.
Government, criminal justice, and pre-law. Actually, yeah.
Okay, what made you study for that, and what was that like?
So yeah, I have after high school, graduated from high school, went to the community college here, got my associate's degree. After getting my associate's degree, I got my bachelor's degree. I actually wanted to go to law school all the time. That was my motivation. My motivation wasn't to get necessarily a degree, but to go to law school. Getting prepared for that until COVID hit. So I was living in West Texas during COVID, and I'm like, yeah, I thought the world was ending, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be, you know, signing up for something for $100,000.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, that's where it's at. But I think the biggest reason why I studied that is because when I went to Mexico, it was
And what are you
really
talking about specifically? Studied what?
government.
Okay.
Well, really, it was political science. That was like really what I first. So
What
that's
was
why I
it?
got a political science.
Political science.
Political science.
Okay.
Yeah. Political science. I actually did. I started a political science club back in college. Pretty involved. I was in a fraternity, and then when I was at New Mexico State.
Is your mic keep dropping?
Yeah.
Let me fix that for you.
Yeah.
But let's go closer to the mic if you would.
Yeah.
Okay, so political science.
Yeah.
Where does that get you? And say you stuck to that. What job does that land you at?
So, like I said earlier, like I said, my motivation wasn't necessarily to get a bachelor's degree. My motivation was to go to graduate school, law school. That was my motivation. I did the law school admissions test. I applied for law school back in actually February of 2020. And then COVID hit. I was living in West Texas. COVID hit. And that's when everybody was stealing toilet paper, like clearing the shelves out.
While you were studying this.
Yeah, yeah. And so I lost my motivation to continue law schools. I was like, hey, like, a lot of news anchors are bashing universities. A lot of anchors, a lot of people were reporting that because of COVID, universities were still charging a high rate. They were still charging the full tuition, although classes were canceled. So they were calling universities a scam. That was when the universities were exposed that they were like taking advantage of the government, taking advantage of government aid. And I learned a lot from that. So I was like, well, you know what? That is like a scam. Maybe I shouldn't be signing up for $100,000. Plus, not only that, I have a really good friend of mine. Her husband's actually a lawyer. He's now actually has his own law firm now, and saying no names, but he's an awesome, awesome guy. I went to his wedding in Michoacan, Mexico.
If it's a positive light, you could say names.
Yeah, it's okay. No, Michoacan. Okay. I went to the wedding, and he's just told me it was a lot of hours, long hours, and I felt the vibe that he wasn't as enjoying it, and I got into sales, and I've been in sales for 8 years now, actually. So I've been in sales for a long time, and I just decided maybe I'll just pursue sales.
Okay, and I know you studied criminal justice as well.
Yeah, so I've a double majored. Yeah, so
and that's a whole different study. It's a whole different class degree.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah, I did a dual. Yeah, double majored. Yeah, so that's study of justice. But the reason why I even chose that field, honestly, is because I remember going to Mexico, and I remember it was like culture shock, and it's so shocking to see how like different Mexico is than the U.S. And it got me really interested in learning about different governments and how it works and things like that. So that's why I even decided to learn about that.
Okay, what career does that land you on?
Nothing really. No, it's all about graduate. So what graduate level is about getting a law degree, right? That's where it's going to actually have a little more opportunity for you career wise. Mm-hmm. Other than that, there's no opportunity. There's no opportunity. I was actually sharing
opportunity.
Well, it's all about job experience, right? So it's all about job experience. I mean, somebody can have a master's degree but really have bad work ethic. I've been in management for. You're good.
Excuse me.
You're good.
Excuse me.
I've been fortunate being quite successful where I do now. But I've interviewed people, and I think really after COVID, it's really been a big issue. But people can have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and call in so many times it does not work right.
Right.
But no, I think I can say this because I have a bachelor's degree. I think college is a scam.
Yeah.
I think college is, and I can say that I'm not being a hater because I don't
me
have
not going to college. It's a scam.
Now, the reason why I went to college in the first place, again, because I also believe I'm like sort of a overachiever, or at least I try to accomplish things that I started. So that's another motivation why I even finished it. I've met lots of people where they said, "Well, I only have 8 credits and I could have a bachelor's degree. Well, I only had 20 credits and I could have had this degree." I told myself I didn't want to be like that because that kind of like follows you for the rest of your life. I met people. Well, technically, I have a bachelor because I only needed 2 semesters. Like no, I didn't want to be like that, so that's why I finished.
Okay, me, I'm a buffoon.
Yeah.
I didn't finish high school, nothing. Definitely didn't go to college.
Mhm.
But I heard college is wild, and you told me some parties and stuff. What was college like for somebody who hasn't even stepped on campus? What was college like?
I actually enjoyed college. It actually had better grades in college than I did in high school. Learned a lot in college. I didn't really party. I partied, but like it was like a couple times, in the semester.
Priorities first.
Huh?
I said priorities.
Priorities first, but I really didn't enjoy it. When I was in my early 20s, I would drink a lot, and then I would be sick and hungover, and then humiliate myself, and I really didn't like that.
So college was your high school, and you could say, I guess it's.
I guess you can say, but I really did that like only like a semester or two where I really like explored. After that, like my last 2 years of college,
Explored.
or experimented. But the last 2 years of college, I really just focused on school. Like I worked full time. Like my last year of college, I was working like 50 hours a week, managing 3 different properties in Las Cruces, El Paso, and then I was taking like 8 classes like in a semester. In that one semester, like that's a lot.
Right.
Like I remember coming home from work and like I had a 10-page paper due at midnight, and I would come home from work at 6. So
Wow.
I had like 5 6 hours to do a 10-page paper.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what I would do. So that really kept me focused and disciplined.
Where was this at?
Las
Santa
Cruces.
Fe?
Las Cruces.
Yes, I remember
Las
you was
Cruces,
gone for
yeah.
a while for school.
Yeah, that's what I did. And actually, it was I enjoyed it. Like 10 papers, and then I had like essays and did a lot of college credits.
Okay.
And plus worked full time, so that kept me really busy.
Okay, so that degree in criminal justice, if you want to be a detective, do you still got to apply to be a cop and then detective, or can you just jump in line?
No, you gotta go through the ranks.
You got to work on up.
In life and in work. You gotta have that experience.
Okay, you got to
you gotta have that
traffic
experience,
tickets and
I think, and again, I'm not an expert, obviously, in that field. Although was gonna be a state trooper.
I remember you was gonna. Yes, I remember that.
Be a state trooper.
I remember you telling me that you don't care if I'm your brother. You'll take me to jail.
Yeah, I did. But I was just joking around though. I was just joking.
I don't know. You had a gun pointed at me when you said it.
No, just joking.
That's a joke.
No, I withdrew from it because I decided, I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. If once you go into that, you're stuck, you're set, and I don't want to feel that way. So I'm still kind of checking things out, learning different things.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, school sounded fun for you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you.
Okay, appreciate
Awesome.
that.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.